Well, the product I offer is very much, about me managing. I mean, I say that, for example, if we're doing international research, if we're doing focus groups abroad, I will visit, I will witness all those focus groups. I will do them myself. That's very time intensive. There's budgetary things, considerations involved. Of course there are, but most of my clients want that sense of live witness. They want me to be there. So do I get personally involved? Yes, I'm there. Do I allow subjectivity? Well, I'm very happy to give my opinion. If it's there, you might not want it, you might want it. Fine, it's there. As long as people know whether it is your opinion or whether you've got some kind of evidence there, as long as clients know what the difference is, and they can then make their own judgment. But to be honest, I'm often asked about, they say, well, people will ask my opinion anyway. And again, that sounds a little bit arrogant, doesn't it? But not in that kind of way. But as long as people know subjective, objective, then they're usually pretty happy, In the space of the last 6 weeks, I've been to Indonesia, Singapore, Mexico, Greece, America, China, and now here I am in Ireland. And I have to say that apart from Jakarta, which has a very, very friendly group of people, Cork, Dublin have been fantastic. Do you know what? Before we went to Jakarta, I had a terrorist briefing. I've never had a terrorist briefing before, and they say, oh, Jakarta, terror, be careful, kidnap, whatever. Jakarta, they were fabulous. They were wonderful, friendly people. Maybe they were just pretending, I don't know. It was a great place. Whereas when I went to Mexico, the day I arrived in Monterrey, I believe the drug dealers had started beheading people, so that wasn't too nice. You don't have that in Ireland, do you?
No.
Good. Cork, I love it. Dublin, I love it. I love the Irish people. I'm not just saying that. You are fantastic people. You've got a wonderful way of life. You're friendly. You're humorous. Your women are beautiful. It must be something in the gene pool. I don't know what it is. This is like, apart from the weather is crap. It's rubbish weather, But apart from that, I could live here if you had permanent sunshine and 30 degrees all the time. You have to make sure, in any kind of international work, you are always that much away from a major misunderstanding. You're always a tiny fraction away from some kind of catastrophe that is brought on by a linguistic error, by a cultural error. Cultural errors are, even between Ireland and the UK, certainly between the UK and America, you get that cultural thing wrong, it can cause so much trouble. So you have to be aware of that kind of difference. I try to be I try to adopt a position of humility with all international people. I'm staggered the number of people who follow me abroad as part of the teams and behave in a not quite so nice way with people abroad who are trying their hardest. I'm sometimes a little bit dismayed, certainly of the arrogance of, dare I say this, of the British, of the Americans, not the Irish, of course, on the international scene, as though people can understand perfect English, for example. Why should they? We don't understand perfect, Portuguese. Well, I know there's some people who do, but I try very hard not to be arrogant, and I try to empathise with all the difficulties that people on the international stage are dealing with when they're dealing with English-speaking nations.